Hi, everybody. I'm just adjusting my camera here. There we go. I just want to welcome people who are watching on the replay. Thanks for being here. I hope I get a couple people watching on the live because that's always inspirational to me too. My name's Karen Pullen, and this is Everyday Plant-Based Cooking School. I give little lessons and classes and demonstrations of cooking plant-based because I just think eating plant-based is better for us. It's also better for our earth, and of course it's infinitely better for the animals that don't get slaughtered or otherwise suffer in the agricultural business. So I like to encourage people to eat plant-based, and I do that by showing some plant-based recipes, doing cooking demonstrations. So today I'm going to make something that is very, very simple. And many of you, or some of you watching, may know about this recipe already. I, at one point, did not, so I had to learn it. And so I just want to show you. It's just a fun little treat to make. Excuse me, you can make it just for yourself. You can make it for your family. It's fun to make with kids because it doesn't involve cooking. It doesn't involve knives. So it's a simple thing for kids to make too. So I actually made one earlier today because at some point in this recipe, we have to freeze what we make. And I didn't want to sit here for 30, 40 minutes while something froze. So I made it earlier so you can see what it looks like. Okay, well, let's get going. If you're watching, you can leave a comment in below the screen. There's a comment box. You can tell me where you're from, and I really appreciate that. And I will say hi to you back. Okay, so this is called chocolate, white chocolate, pistachio. So I have some pistachio nuts, which I've measured out. Hi, Alexandra. Thank you for being here. And she's from Pittsburgh, which is very close to where I'm from. We have pistachios and we have bananas. So let us get going. The one thing I haven't gotten out yet is some plant milk because I didn't want to leave that on the counter. So I'm going to go ahead and get out half a cup of some almond milk, and then I'm going to put it in the microwave to heat it up. Yeah, so stay where you are. I'll be right back. So here's my half a cup of almond milk. I'm just going to heat it up. I'm going to try 1 minute. We want to make it really hot. It doesn't, one problem in the microwave is sometimes it gets too hot and it all overflows. So I'm going to have to watch it for that. Damn, don't see too well. Northern Illinois, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it when people watch from far away. So this is, like I said, sort of a treat recipe. And it's so simple. We're going to be done with this in about 5 minutes. I'm heating up the milk. I'm going to pour it over half a cup of chocolate chips. There we go. I just needed a half a cup measure. I didn't want exactly eyeball it. You can use other dark chocolates. This is not an expensive chocolate. This is Enjoy Life. It's the ingredients. It doesn't have milk, which is nice because a lot of times they put milk. If you just buy like Nestle's chocolate chips, they'll put milk in it. I don't understand that, but they do. So we've got chocolate. I'm going to see if my hot here. I think it needs another 30 seconds. We're just going to let that milk sit on the chocolate for a little while and melt it. Hey, Diane, Anita. Good to see so many folks here today. Anita's from Las Vegas. Diane's from Hillsborough, which is North Carolina. So I'm going to melt the chocolate by pouring the hot milk over it. This is such a simple recipe. I hope everybody will go and make this later today. Okay. I'm going to show you on the other camera some things too. All right, let's see. Well, I know it's hot enough because it overflowed. All right, so I'm going to pour the milk. Let me go ahead and get the other camera onto the screen. Just going to pour the milk over the chocolate. Let that sit a minute to melt. And while that's melting, I'm going to chop up some pistachios. You can use other nuts for this. You can use, pecans, hazelnuts, walnuts. I love pistachios. I wish they weren't so expensive, but they are. So I have a grinder here. I use this for nuts and spices. I don't use it for coffee. I have a different grinder for coffee. Okay, we're just going to chop these pistachio nuts up. Let me also say you could just use a knife and, just chop them on a board. You don't have to use this. This gets them nice and fine, though, so it makes a nice coating. All right, it's going to be a little bit noisy. And done. They're chopped up pretty fine. I think that's great. Come on, chocolate, melt. Let me get a fork. I can stir that around a little bit. Okay. This, to me, does not look very thick. It's weird because sometimes this is like you make a ganache with the equal parts chocolate and liquid. But this does not look as thick as the one I made this morning. So I'm wondering if I shouldn't put a little more chocolate in it. Because the last thing we want is runny chocolate. We want it to be a little bit thick. This is good. Okay, so all we're going to do is put the bananas. I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper. Not really strictly necessary, but this chocolate is going to run everywhere. And I'm going to just drizzle chocolate over top of the banana. Lick the fork. This makes a lot, actually. You can see I have a lot of chocolate left. So for 2 bananas, I might, if I were just going to do 2, I might do half the quantity. Just use a 1/4 cup of chocolate and a 1/4 cup of the plant milk. All right, one thing I might do is coat this banana a little more. I'm going to get a toothpick and kind of tilt it. See if that helps get a little more chocolate everywhere. Okay. We are almost finished, people. Now I have the pistachios, which I'm going to distribute over the top. Just had to unplug the grinder here. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a good way to do this. I think I'll just try shaking it and see what happens. Yeah, I have a lot of pistachios here too. Okay, that's it. I am going to get the one out of the freezer. So these will freeze, and obviously the chocolate puddle in here is going to freeze. That might just make a nice little bark that you could also nibble on. But I'm just going to put this in the freezer just as is, and then I'm also going to get out the one that I made earlier so we can see how it looks like after it's frozen. Okay, I'm back. So this one, I used slightly bigger pieces of pistachio. You can see I only made one. Let me see, Diane says, recipes unusually easy. This is really unusually easy and quick. You can see I have been live for 10 minutes and we're basically finished. So the idea with these is you then slice them into discs. So that's why it's called sushi. So it sort of looks like sushi. And then just keep it in the freezer, keep it frozen. So let me get a knife. Let's see if they slice. Okay. I'm thinking I'm going to lower the camera a little bit. Maybe you can see a little bit better. All right, I think I'm going to start in the middle and make them about 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay. So there's a piece. You can see it's the banana, chocolate, and sushi. These are frozen, not frozen super hard. It's not difficult to cut. I think if it sat in the freezer for longer, it would be frozen more hard. But the chocolate is frozen. It's just still a little bit sticky. So I don't, at night, sometimes after dinner, we sometimes like to have something. We don't eat dessert usually, but it's really nice to have something. So this might be something that would be nice to have. A piece of chocolate and some nuts and banana. You could almost consider this healthy. The only added sugar here is what is in the chocolate. There is a little bit, let me look at the package. Of course, sugar is added to it. It has 7 grams of sugar per tablespoon. And in this entire thing, I put, a half a cup. I'm trying to think, is that 16 tablespoons? 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. It's 8 tablespoons, right? I think. Okay. So we didn't actually add, each of these pieces does not have a lot of sugar. Of course, there's the natural sugar that's in the banana. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice this all up. And then if I were going to serve it, I probably put it on a different plate, not this piece of parchment. Just set it out on a, I wonder if you can make it stand up like that. You see what I'm doing there? Okay, so that's the banana pistachio chocolate sushi. That's all there is to it. Anita said, I will need help eating these, especially because I have 2 more in the freezer now. Yeah, I don't think we'll have any trouble eating these. It's nice to have them in the freezer too. They're not quite so accessible, right? As if they're just sitting right on the counter like a plate of cookies or something. This is almost like a cookie, but it, you know, we don't have flour or oil. The fat in these, of course, comes from the nuts. Love pistachios. Okay, so there's my plate of sushi. It's not super. The presentation could be better. I also have some chocolate and nuts left on the piece of parchment paper. I'll have to do something with those. And I have a good bit of this chocolate ganache left. This is nice topping for ice cream. It's a nice topping to drizzle over a cake. I will freeze it because it will freeze just fine. And I have pistachios left. I have to think of what to do with all of that. So thanks everybody for watching. I know this was short, just 15 minutes. I'll be back next Tuesday at 2 o'clock with a new recipe, a new plant-based recipe. And I appreciate folks watching and leaving comments. Yeah. So take care, stay warm. It's pretty nice here today. I was just outside cleaning my bird bath. And this morning, I think I heard a robin, so maybe spring is on the way. And I'll see you all next week. Have a great day. What's left of it.